afternoon. You're listening to Cannabis Corner on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from downtown New Haven. We are streaming live on TuneIn Radio and NewHavenIndependent.org. We're also streaming live video on Facebook and YouTube. Just go to your Facebook page, look us up, and hit see first to see and hear all the great programs we have here on WNHHLP. And also a reminder that Cannabis Corner is streaming live on the Greenhaven Media Facebook page and ProCannabisMedia.com. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Cannabis Quarter. It is Monday, January the 12th, 2026. I'm your host, Joe LaChance, Joe the Weed Guy, and I am joined, of course, here by the one and only Uncle Lou. Farmer Lou, how are you today, my brother?
How are you, my friend? I'm doing all right. Happy Monday. It's a nice Monday. Can't complain about it. The walking weather was beautiful. You know what I mean?
I have to agree. I decided to postpone my walk till this afternoon till it got a little warmer.
You are lucky for that
It will
one.
be very.
You'll
I was
enjoy it.
smart,
Yeah.
but I did get to walk the beach this weekend
Yes.
twice. It was very nice for January, I gotta
Yeah, the
say.
sun was shining. You can't be mad about that. It's perception. We put those. You got to put those sunglasses of joy and happiness at times, even when things are stressful. Pass that message.
Well,
We can only be resilient warriors for so much. We actually have to be the resilient warrior.
Well, I think people need to realize, and I think people are starting to realize that nature is probably one of the best ways to calm your
Oh
nerves,
yeah.
to heal yourself, getting sunlight, walking around, breathing in, air that is
Some
made
fresh
by
air.
plants, fresh air made by
Yeah.
plants, even though the plants are not, they're still making oxygen.
You know,
Um,
this is to piggyback off what you're saying and maybe lead into that. With this winter, we're in the dead of the winter right now. It's cold. We're talking about that, but get that fresh air. Throw a jacket on, maybe take a little bit and get that, breathe in the fresh air, crack your window a little bit, circulate something other than just yourself. So,
well, yeah, the air in the winter tends to be a little bit fresher. The
yeah.
cooler, the crisper of it tends to be a little bit fresher. And a lot of people don't realize that the reason we have seasons is for our bodies because the winter, as being cold, tends to be a little bit more alkaline,
Hmm.
which, whereas the summer being hot tends to be like a more acidic environment. If you know
Okay.
alkaline and acidity, it's the same as in water. It's the same thing in your body. We have to have a balance of alkalinity and acidity. And each season, the winter represents alkalinity, which is the more, I don't want to say positive energy, because acidity, obviously, we know is not too much acidity is not good for the body.
Right,
But
right,
anyway,
right.
I digress. This is just stuff I've
No,
learned
and
through my
the
journeys of
the
health.
journeys, the information. Sometimes when you smoke a little bit or you medicate and you start thinking about these things or what other healthy practices you start putting into your life. As this new year starting and we're talking about so many more things holistically with our bodies, with our spirit, with cannabis, with everything. It's kind of what you've started to take an avenue on here, and it's exciting to be able to talk about it.
Well, yeah, there's that whole other aspect of life, and I'm very happy to see that more and more people are realizing as the actual outside world and the system starts to look less and less appealing, and the veil is being peeled back on how corrupt and how fake it really is. More people are starting to understand that really the only real thing that's not constructed by mankind, it's not a social construct or a societal construct or a matrix thing, is nature. It's nature. That's the only thing that was here before us.
Yeah.
And that's the base of everything. And once you can get back to that and realize that not only is it very healing, but you're a part of it. You are a part of nature just as much as the plants are, just as much as the animals are, just as much as the air, the water, the ground. You are a part of nature too. And once you can realize that and get that in, it changes your perspective. on materialism and society and the whole, where you realize it's all fake and constructed, and that it's based on beliefs and things like that, where it's not real, where nature is actually real. Anyway,
Mhm.
I smoked a lot today, but I wanted to give a shout out
Let's
to
do
our
it.
sponsor, of course,
That's right.
Metatron Homegrown, Mr. Gabe over there. He's got two locations, one on 626 East Main Street in Meriden, and he
Yep.
also has one at 185 Boston Post Road in Orange. Does a lot of great things down there. He's got great grow equipment. He's doing some stuff with fungus now.
Well,
And
you were down there this weekend, right? He had
he
his
had a little
swap
event this
meet.
weekend. It was very nice, a swap meet.
Very
People,
community. Just we say event. It was a very community focused event. Something
yes,
for the immediate community that goes to his shop, that wants to become a member of the community. It was a great first time opportunity for somebody to go down and check things out. They're
yep,
very, very, very welcoming there, doing these small events for that, for the grow community, specifically for individuals looking to get into it. So talk about that one a little bit because it was nice.
yeah.
Gabe's, promoted it for the last couple of weeks. It was great conversation pieces. Now, then it happened.
Yeah, no, it was great. He has, if you haven't been to Metatron, he has the front where the big all the grow equipment
Yep,
is. Then he has a
yep,
whole room in the back for events and classes and things like that. So it was held indoors,
yep.
and he had vendors set up. Of course, our buddy was there, One Hit Wonder.
Yes, sir.
He had Seed Dog there selling
Very
seed.
nice.
He had a nice gentleman there who I'm going to have on the show who makes handmade pipes,
Okay,
things like that. New guy, just met him. I think he's called Jake's Pipes or something. Not Jake. Steve's Pipes or something like that.
okay.
But I have his card. I'm going to have him on the show. He had some really cool stuff. And then he had a nice soap kind of vendor there. He had a lady there who was selling cannolis
Hmm.
and filling them up on the spot, which
Oh,
was pretty
see,
cool. And they
that's
weren't infused or anything. They could be,
well.
but they
People
weren't
eat more
infused.
when they're not.
Yeah, no, they were great. That was the biggest seller. She
That's
was
right.
selling them up and down. And then, of course, the Brooklyn Bacon Boys were there, the Bacon Boys from Brooklyn, who we had on the show. He
Okay.
had some great cakes there and some drinks and stuff. And then, of course, there were some grow tents and stuff available if you wanted to swap or sell.
Yeah.
It was great. And I talked to Gabe, and we're thinking about doing one once a month.
That's a great, once again, community focused event, and something like the cannoli lady just
Yeah.
continues to round it out because it's not you know, all cannabis. There's cannabis adjacent. We always talk about cannabis adjacent, and
Yes.
the cannoli lady just became a cannabis adjacent business.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny, her son was there, and he's the guy who does and I think you and I met him last time, does the neon glow parties. And he
Yeah,
was,
and the
you know,
photo
the
booths,
pictures,
and
the photo booths and stuff. And
yeah, he's got himself a nice business where he. That was a
so
nice
he brought his
conversation.
mom
I
down.
thought.
It was very nice. And I really had a good time. I spent like 4 hours there just hanging out,
That's awesome, Joe.
enjoying some cannabis and a couple
Well, you're the
treats.
you're the community host of everything, Joe. The
Oh yeah,
official
Burn and
and
Learn is starting up
unofficial.
in April again. That schedule's out if you want to
Yep.
check that out.
It's all the official and the unofficial hosts of everything in cannabis in Connecticut, Joe. It's Joe the weed guy.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'd rather do that than go up to the legislature and fight them and do all
Yeah.
that activist stuff anymore. I'll tell you what, I'd rather be a
And you
community.
know what? The people that are doing it are great at it, and they definitely 100% continue the passion. So definitely a shout out. We go from our commercial sponsor shout out to the community shout out. You
Yep.
know, so definitely on that.
Shout out to all the activists out there, especially the Canna Warriors who are still going strong, going at it.
Yep.
A
Still
lot of
facing
them.
adversity, still grinding, still overcoming. Every one of those individuals and the new individuals that'll come up this new session that'll start to show face or something, you know?
Right. It's
So,
just a question of people, I know what motivated me. I had to get mad.
yeah, yeah, you
And
know,
I'm still mad, but
you're still mad.
I feel like I did my part and I put my heart and soul into it, and it was successful to where at least me personally felt like I had accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, which was to free the plant, meaning people don't get arrested for it anymore, meaning people can grow it, meaning that people who were arrested can have their records expunged. I
Right.
went it for more esoteric reasons than
And
making
hey,
money off
Joe,
it.
and not even to downplay any of that, but that's what you 100% got to do this year. Let's take a second. You know, you
That's
hit your
why I did it.
yeah, you hit your milestone birthdays, you know, as they keep coming up. Then you had an expungement, you grew some plants, everything that you set out to help change some laws, you did the things
That's
that you
exactly
were
why
looking
I
to
did
do it.
it.
So, you know, you got to experience the joy of it, having those laws changed, and it's now up to the next generations and those continuing the fight. And it doesn't mean that Joe the weed guy is not going to take the ride up when we take the ride up, but it just means that hey, you're the support host. You're bringing more love than fight. You know what I mean right now?
That's exactly you're right. Bringing more love than fight, and I'd rather be that type of community ambassador type of person who brings people together. Makes connections, brings people together, hosts events. Just like you
Be a
say,
friendly
spread
face.
love.
Be a
Spread love.
friendly face, Joe. Because hey,
Yeah.
you know, when you're down at events at like Gabe's or at one of the other places, or if you're down by Kieber Space or something, you know, and somebody's like, "Hey, we know Joe. Joe's got the friendly face, and we can pop in and say hello." You know, so it's always nice.
No, absolutely, and I enjoy it. I love it. You know what I mean? I mean, times are tough. I often feel like running away to Puerto Rico again. I do. I'm not kidding.
Oh,
But
you're not
I
joking on
look
that
at
one.
what's going on down there right now, and we're gonna have Jason on next week.
Yep.
So I'm gonna talk to him a little bit about how it's changed since the military has resumed activities on that island.
Yep. Yep.
And because I've always seen that as kind of a little paradise for me, anyway.
Right.
I just love it so much, and I'm
Home
sure there
away
are
from
other,
home for you.
yeah, Caribbean countries that are nice and things like that. But something about Puerto Rico, the culture there, and the diversity of it, yet still the unity of it. Really, I really like it. I just really like the people there,
And you called
because
it
they're
home.
Americans, yet they've been really trampled upon over
Yep.
the years. There's 100 years at least since we took over, and they were really beat up before that too.
For
But if
400
you,
years, yeah.
yeah, right, you know what I mean. That island's been beat up, but yet those people's heart is still beating. I mean, hard,
That's the
strong.
resilience, and that's what's bred into us. So you've got it through living in the island itself. You've got family out there, so it's always a big shout out to the Puerto Rican culture, land, and space, and everybody fighting for the Puerto Rican diaspora on top of all the others. You know what I mean?
Right, and there's
There's
some
no
about
freedom
it,
while there's still colonization anywhere. You know?
and you got to go down and experience it as a local and
Yeah,
not as a tourist to really understand what we're talking about. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Get
There's a
out of
sense
San
of
Juan for a little
community.
while.
Go out of San Juan, go around, go even to Vieques if you want. You want to see a
Yeah,
real small community that's tight. Go to
yeah,
Culebra.
yeah.
That's even smaller. You're talking about an island with 1,500, 2,000 people on it.
Yep.
So there's a lot of beauty out there. And, you're close to the other Virgin Islands. You're not far.
100%. You know, and so places you just a hop, skip, and a jump on a boat. You know what I mean?
And you don't need a passport.
That there you go.
That's the beautiful thing about it. Like I said, it's always been my little escape and my little paradise. I want to see how it is now. that the military is there. So we'll have Jason on next week to find out. But
Yeah.
guess who's here?
Yes.
Guess who is here with us? Our good friend, OG of the show,
That's
Miss
right.
Kebra Smith Bolden. And Kebra is the owner and CEO of Lit New Haven, the only adult use cannabis dispensary owned by a black woman, as well as CEO of Lit Cultivation, a state
Yep.
approved cannabis cultivation company. She currently serves on the board of Supernova Women, a national organization supporting women in the cannabis industry. At Lit, our mission is simple: to provide the best cannabis products in a welcoming, inclusive environment. We're here to offer top quality flower, edibles, concentrate as much as they can, and more from all the trusted, sustainable sources. Our curated selection is designed to meet the needs of every customer, whether you're looking for relief, relaxation, or a little bit of both. We are committed to responsible business practice that prioritize our community, the environment, and the future of cannabis. As we continue to grow, we remain focused on advocating for social justice, economic equality, and the equitable distribution of the cannabis industry opportunities. Welcome, Queen Kebra. I love that.
Yes.
My
Well,
son, I think he put that in my phone. Hey y'all.
how are you,
Hey,
Queen
Kebra.
Kebra? Where's your crown?
Oh, do I have? It's in the front.
We love it.
I love it. I love it. You got to play the part, my friend. That's the
Yeah.
way it goes. So,
How
how are
y'all
you?
doing?
Oh, it's lovely. I love the highlights there. That looks.
Oh, thank you. I'm trying
those,
something different, you
It
know.
looks beautiful.
those are new. So, I was telling you last week. I said it
Yep.
flat out in the air. You know, as much as we help make this stuff legal and everything, there is only one dispensary, one legal dispensary right now that I will support out of all,
100%.
and that is Lit Dispensary.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I
And
even hear that. Well, I shouldn't even. I don't really. I'm not gonna say his name, but I hear that my former arch nemesis even wrote something like that last week.
oh, really?
I was like, oh, yeah, I guess he had written something about how Lit is the only real social equity dispensary here in the state, but we're struggling so bad or something. He said, I don't know. He
How
never
does he?
asked.
How does he know that? You know, does he open the book? Come on. No, but and that is the truth. When you look at a social equity focused dispensary where we have a lot of social equity applicants, but their dispensaries all look the same. You know what I mean? There's no real community connection to them. You really have a strong community connection in New Haven. You know, there's what is there right now? 4 dispensaries in New Haven or 3?
No, I closed.
Right.
3.
So there's
Right.
3. Okay. So there's 3 in New Haven. 2 of them are MSOs.
And just Kebra. We
And
weren't able to survive it.
yeah, there you go. And this is, you know, that's the thing. We haven't even really talked about this on the air, and I don't know if you want to, but it was
No, it's
tough,
all
right?
good. It is. It's all part of it. You know, sometimes things just don't work out as it does, and that's just kind of what it is. It's a tough landscape. It's not designed, and Kebra knows all the struggles that go through it. We've had great conversations as we've moved through, and I'm very excited for Kebra and her trajectory. Like that's,
Right.
I think
Me
today's show is 100% about the goodness that's going on in that space for what you got going on, because you got some pretty cool things going on over there. You can see
Yeah,
the
all the
calendar.
time.
It's
And
absolutely
Lou,
beautiful. It's fun when we get to show up because if you're not around, but Lit is one of the community spaces that I get to come to, that Joe stops in, that almost everybody in the community makes sure to stop in, if not to pick something up, because maybe sometimes the dispensary cannabis isn't your jam, but it's a place to go and feel like it's part of the community no matter what. You have some great events. It's a nice, I don't want to say hangout space, but a very welcoming space if you did want to spend 5 to 10 minutes there versus popping in and just leaving, which you can do as well. But
Yeah, I
it's
mean, we
always
bought
nice.
couches for that very reason.
Yep.
And that's the thing I like about what you've done, Keeper. Besides set it up almost like a place where you can come sit down, have a chat, drink a water, whatever you have. I don't know. Are you selling the THC beverages now, right? But you
Hmm.
can't drink on premises, right?
Nah.
No, but you can sit down with your friends, talk, and the good thing about it is there's probably knowing you, there's probably always a couple people hanging around anyway that you could chat with, you know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Like the barber shop almost, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, honestly, I had read an article like that came like right after the rescheduling nonsense, and it
We
basically
could
was
talk
just
about
saying
that.
that the difference between dispensaries success and not success over the next few years, especially with all these changes, will be like customer service. Like
I
people
was
aren't going to
just
really care about the brands necessarily, or the prices even, because the people could still take a ride 45 minutes, an hour, depending where you're coming from, to Mass, and get better prices.
wow. They're
But
cheap.
custom
I'll tell you, I saw an article cheap, $15 ace.
hmm But customer service and convenience too, because I think we're, because where we're located, a lot of cars come by. But anyway, I believe that our customer service is exemplary, and people know that if they come, they're not going to be rushed. If they have questions, they can be helped. If they know that if they're giving back in some way, like a educator or a healthcare worker or a veteran, they know that they're going to get a nice discount, and be taken care of. So, really proud of my staff and what they do here every day. People don't like when we first opened, everybody wanted to talk to me. They're like, "Oh, where's Kebra? I got to ask Kebra questions." Now I see people on the camera sometime, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm sure they're here to talk to me." And I go out there, and they're like, "No, we want Tamika." No, we're looking for, Kai. No, we're looking for this staff member. We need to ask Hallie about vapes. So, it's really kind of beautiful to see my staff step up in
Well,
their.
let's talk about your staff. Your staff is your family. Let's be
Oh, yeah.
real. And that's what makes me very impressed, like a community type of business. Now, let's be real. You're right down the street from INSA. So
Oh,
people can get off the same exit
mm-hmm.
and go to INSA and not get a good experience. Same products,
Right.
but not get a good experience. They can drive 2 minutes down the street, straight past it, and go to Lit. Same products, hang out, but
Different
your
experience.
family is
Yeah.
the staff.
Yeah.
And that's where, and your
Yeah.
place is decorated really nicely. It's all brick. It's friendly. It looks like it's been lived in. Do you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying
Mm-hmm.
to say?
And I
Not
will
all
say, like,
fresh
you're right.
and
My family is the staff, but everybody has been just as impacted. Have had some sort of touch point, or the parent. Like, so I do have a couple of my peers' children who work here, who have come from the same hood I come from, and have experienced the same inequities that come from coming from an inner city community that was ground zero for the war on drugs.
right.
And so, yes, so my children work here in manager positions. One of my longest friends is my sales manager, who grew up in New Haven just like me. My cousin Daryl is the security person, and he went to prison for cannabis. So there's a lot of, everyone is some way shape. A bunch of my security all have had cannabis charges or interactions with the police. And so although it may look like family, a lot of family, and it still is very much living out the spirit of the social equity law.
Exactly, exactly. And you just mentioned it. You're hiring people who have had previous experiences with the law, giving them a second chance. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? People who have experience on the street with cannabis. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yep. My
And
former weed man works here.
well, there we go. And you now that is what they wanted to do with this program, right? Get the people who were selling on the streets to get into the legal market. Well, there you go.
Yep. Yep. So we're living that out. So I'm grateful.
And
And
what?
like we spoke of, like it has not been easy. I started off with partners that we just did not align, and God blessed me to be able to move on to a situation that was more aligned with what I wanted to do in this industry, and allow me a little more independence. So I'm not thrown in that that same boat as one of the MSOs. I thank God that I'm out of that
Well, your
that
business
category.
partners are strong community members as well, correct?
Yes, yes,
Yeah. So
very much
you
so.
they're not. Yeah. So you matched it up in a much more integral way,
Yes,
which I think made a huge difference, and it had to happen. You know what I
yes,
mean? It had to happen, and I'm
yes.
I'm glad it did because
Me
what you
too. I mean, honestly, me too. The way I say this all the time, and I feel like people just miss this. The way the legislation was written, I couldn't even live out my own social equity license by myself. It's impossible. The fees are are so much, and in order to be compliant, you have to put in
Yep.
hundreds of $1,000 safes and systems that cost a lot of money and a whole lot of things that because I qualified as social equity, I didn't have that money to do. So they forced us to partner with people with cannabis, with funds to do this. And I'm grateful that I was able to find people who not only had some funds to partner with, but also understood my vision and have a love for our community as well.
yeah. No, you're gonna say something.
Beautiful. No, I was just saying it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, very, very, and a lot of people don't realize when we talk about the customer experience, people forget that you are a nurse and you are a cannabis nurse. So if there are people who actually need advice, and I'm sure you check the products before they come in, and you know which ones would be better for a medical person than not, you can make recommendations like that. Whereas somebody who's just a bud tender off the street, that they hired, like say at that other dispensary down the street, wouldn't be able to give that kind of advice to a medical patient, even though you're not technically a medical dispensary. You would at least know what products that you carry would be better medicinally than just as an adult use product. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Definitely. And just to be clear, so I don't get in trouble with DCP, I don't make, because I'm not a licensed pharmacist, like I don't give medical advice or anything in that regard, but I am able to help identify what certain terpenes do and how they will work in the body. And if someone shares ailments or symptoms with me, I can help them kind of connect the dots to what products can help them with that.
Right.
But
And that's
I do,
important
but
advice.
yes. But as a businesswoman in general and a nurse at the same time, because I've had home care companies and dishes, people just tend to trust nurses, and rightfully so. Usually you don't become a nurse for a paycheck. You become a nurse because you care about people and you want to give back and in some sort of
And
way.
help people. Right,
Right.
exactly.
So I think that people tend to trust how I connect those dots for them, and are able to have better experiences because of it. Because we're looking at not just potency and not just price, but like once I get them to move past that, then we're pulling up the lab results and looking at terpene profiles and the different cannabinoids that are in that particular product. So it's really
Right.
a good opportunity to educate the community. And even though I will say though, my staff is so excellent. Like again, people aren't looking for the nurse anymore. I mean, but Tamika, who is my sales manager, is also a pharmacy tech.
Okay, so there you go. You got both aspects.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
wonder.
because she went to school. This is how true to and committed to Lit New Haven my staff is. When we were working on Women Grow, she used to volunteer.
I remember.
And I was like, I think we gonna end up getting a dispensary, girl. And if so, you can be a pharmacy tech. And she went to school, became a pharmacy tech, and worked for like 2 years as a pharmacy tech, building that experience until we opened. And then she transitioned that knowledge and experience here. So
Nice. See, that's nice. And that's a long-term friendship. That goes way back. You're talking Women Grow, right? So
yeah.
you've had this dream since really probably you graduated the school. I don't know. But you made a big dent in the medical industry out here too. A lot of people don't realize you started Canna Health, which became and expanded, became a very big medical referral, for the referrals. Now they've just changed the laws, so you can have them for 2 years now, I understand.
Nice. Yeah, and I still recommend that people get their medical cannabis license or certificate to be able to purchase medically. We can't give a discount to medical customers because of DCP. They said we can't promote that. But I mean, they can't stop me from giving a brown eye discount. So if you got brown eyes, I can give you a discount. Like I
Oh,
can do
really? So the DCP will not let you give a medical patient a discount,
Yes.
but they'll let you give a veteran a discount, right?
Yes, they will. I could give a discount for anything else except for being a medical patient. And so, like I said, usually people have multiple things going on. So they might be a medical, a Connecticut cannabis, medical marijuana patient, but they're also a teacher. So we give discounts for that. We give discounts for people who work in healthcare. So there's a bunch of
Public
different ways.
servants, firefighters, police,
Yes.
people like that. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
So there's ways to work around because that seems very unfair to me. I understand why they do it because they want them to go to a medical dispensary, but let's be real. How many of those are really left? Even hybrid ones, let's be real.
Right. And if I live around the corner from an adult use dispensary, why would I drive,
Across town, right?
across town to just not have to pay the taxes, and then I could just give you a discount of the equivalent. So,
Right.
but that's what they decided. So
I understand.
we're complying.
They really got to improve the medical program if they're going to kind of pull stuff like that, And I don't know if that's going to happen. I just saw something about the House of Representatives passing something about medical marijuana, protecting medical marijuana rights for states, and also making sure that the rescheduling goes through because there was some fight to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to ask you, because we talked in depth a little bit about this with Raphael last week. What do you think about this rescheduling and how is it going to change the cannabis market? And they haven't done it yet, let's be real. And who knows how long it's going to take, but hypothetically.
Well, I mean, okay, let's just say I knew nothing about rescheduling or the cannabis industry or anything. I got nervous when I heard Trump was fast tracking or recommending that they fast track this thing. Like, why are you working so fast, sir? Because nothing he does is not without
Well, he works fast.
benefit and intention,
or some agenda, right? There's an agenda behind it. Like I was discussing with Roth about how that move they made in the beginning when they opened up the government to restrict all the hemp products was a precursor because they knew they were going to do this move. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm. So I mean, that was my first thing.
This is planned.
Oh Lord,
so what's the next?
I saw people like celebrating. I'm like, y'all, what are you? But I had done it. I had made a post and I used this analogy that like rescheduling was like building a highway, but not putting speed limits, not putting
guardrails.
It just is like a free road for everyone, but that big pharma and big cannabis are like 18 wheelers on this highway, and
Right.
they'll run you off the road. But someone said something to me that really kind of helped put things in perspective, and was like, but you've created a lane for yourself that is tailored to you, and those 18 wheelers can't even fit in that lane. So you have created a niche that will be able to be sustained. And I was like, thank you for that perspective. But the reality is that if this rescheduling goes through, it now becomes a Schedule 3 drug, which means that it lands right in the pharmaceutical
Right.
company's wheelhouse. This is what they know. This is where they live. They hang out. They get there. They they take
I
over.
was looking at some of the other Schedule 3s, and I'm like, these are all prescription. They're non-harmful. They're non-psychotic, psychoactive, but they're all prescription. It's not Tylenol level. It's not that. That's a below.
No.
That's like Schedule 5. It's not that. It's something more like testosterone.
Yes, steroids and yes,
Things like that are
Mhm.
prescription only. So don't get excited. That I think Big Pharma is licking their lips waiting for this to happen. And I was saying, like, there's no real product out there that compares to cannabis, because it has that psychoactive adult use, recreational, social type of use, but it also has a very heavy, strong medical use that
Right.
needs to be explored.
Yes.
But it needs to be explored in the right way. You know what I'm saying? Explored, but not, I don't want to use the word rape, but not exploited. Explored, but not exploited. And then you have the whole industrial part. So there's no product, there's no thing out there that's really like it. So how do you regulate that once you reschedule it? What does that mean for the adult use market?
Yeah. I mean, I think it means that the pharmaceutical companies will work on creating products, getting them FDA approved. It means that, they will be accepting insurance for these products that they create, and that they will be able to distribute them nationally. So it'll be like, do you want Pfizer cannabis or do you want, locally grown
Well, that's
cannabis?
the thing. Will we still have the option?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they could take away the option. I mean, but they could do it just about anything. But I don't think that is what it's going to be. But I do think that they plan on allowing this to consume everybody else. So they just plan on taking over, or attempting to. So it's
At least the medicinal side of it. Yeah,
for sure, for
yeah,
sure.
for sure.
I
We'll
mean,
have
and
to.
then they're also giving the alcohol companies a whole lot of leeway too,
Oh,
like
big
on a whole
time.
other thing. So, but again, I feel like if I stabilize my lane and stick to it, that I will continue to have opportunities in this industry to provide
And
this
you
service.
will. You will. You're absolutely right. You will. And that's the thing. You've been able to carve that niche for yourself and done it very successfully. Are you at a year yet? Almost, right?
May, May
Okay.
will be.
So
So we still
within a
got five
year, look
months,
what
4
you've
months.
done. So you've got the space down there, and you've got a bunch of stuff going on this month. You always have little events going on, but you got contests. I know you
Yes.
got one for free weed for a year, but I just saw a new one that you put up.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard for me to keep up, so I'm gonna let you. No, seriously, I'm gonna let you tell everybody what's going on. Let's just say for this month down there. I like that contest idea, and I know the deadline's coming up soon. So tell us
Yeah.
a little bit about that and all the other stuff, events, whatever you got going on down there.
Okay, and let me make sure I'm telling you all right. So I'm pulling it up because I misquote things all the time. But yes, we do have two contests currently going on. The first is free flour for a year, and we're not really limiting. If someone doesn't consume flour and they just do edibles, we'll do like the equivalent of a couple eighths a month for that person. And so all it's basically a social media thing. You follow us on Lit New Haven, you comment Lit New Year, you tag two friends, repost it on your story, and tag us. It's like mad little steps. But if you do every one of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps, you will be entered in the contest, and we will announce the winner January 27th, 2026. And someone said to me, "Oh, this is like one of those things where nobody really wins." I'm like, what? Somebody's really gonna win. We're a
I'm sure you'll
local.
put them up on social media, probably do a little video with them or whatever, don't you?
Absolutely. So we will be proving that someone won. And then the other contest that we have is the Road to Super Bowl tournament, where
Oh,
somebody will win, and it's the same kind of thing. It's tag us, comment two teams that you believe are headed to the Super Bowl, tag your 3 friends, and repost on your story. And that winner will get a 42-inch flat screen TV, something for the
oh.
man cave, 2 large pizzas from Pepe's, 2 6-packs of THC beverages, and 2 eighths of premium flour, and some lit merch to wear on game day.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's very cool. See, those are the kind of things that will set you apart from the other dispensaries. You know what I mean?
Yes. Oh,
And
and let me just tell y'all, this month we have a boxing. We're starting a boxing class. It's going to be on the 22nd. It's a daytime class from 12 to 1. Of course, we've got karaoke nights, but
yeah, what
I'm
nights are the
super
karaoke?
Tuesday, so every other Tuesday. So the next one will be on the 20th. And oh no, the next one is the 11th. That's soulful karaoke where we sing gospel music or whatever moves your
R&B
soul.
hits.
Yep. And
Yeah,
then
baby.
karaoke night on the 20th is, whatever. We'll sing whatever. We got trap yoga. But what I'm most excited about are two things. Getting back to Lit and Lifted, where we talk about, how cannabis was used throughout the Bible. And that's the 25th. And then also on the 30th, we're having our monthly Lit and Create night, but it's a vision board party.
Ooh.
So we'll be creating our 2026 vision boards. With the group of our monthly artists that come out. We usually do like a paint night. So this will be a little departure from that, but helping us get ready for 2026. I love vision boards. I'm all about it. Like I got stuff all around me.
Yeah, I'm starting one. I'm starting one now. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
nice. Come join us, Joe. It's open to men,
It's a
women,
Friday
and
night,
bi.
right?
It's a
Is that
Friday
the
night.
30th is a Friday, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I will. That would be nice because I already got.
Yeah.
I'm starting to put the list down now. You got to write the list
Let's
first of
see.
what you're going to put on that board.
Friday, 4
Um,
to 7.
well, 4. Oh, it's early. I can
Mm-hmm.
still get home early.
Mm-hmm.
Get
Yep,
to
and we've got, believe it or not, I have someone who donated some magazines or will be donating some magazines, and then we've got some vision board, like little pieces to put. So we'll provide everything. Just come with your ideas, and we'll help make them visual.
very, very. Yeah, no, that's just what I'm saying. This is why I said it's the only dispensary I'm going to support. And I'm not saying the other dispensaries don't hold pop-ups and they do things like that, but they seem to be, and none of them the same people all the time. The same pop-ups, and they're all people I love, they're all people I support, and I
Mhm.
think it's great that the other dispensaries do that. I know you've brought some of them in too, but nobody's doing create night, nobody's doing vision boarding, nobody's doing karaoke, and nobody's doing yoga. You know what I mean? And this is all at the place, right? This is
Yep,
not
right.
off-site sponsored by Lit.
Mm-mm.
This is Lit at Lit.
Yep, we
Lit at
convert
Lit.
one of our rooms into whatever we want it to be. A boxing studio, a karaoke, sit there, a painting, a painting setting, like whatever it is that we create that. For trap yoga, we actually close off one side of the building and just use one entrance so that people can have privacy, because when you're
Because
doing it, you don't want
customers
everybody
walking in and out.
gawking
Right,
at
right,
you.
right, right,
Yeah.
right.
So we make sure we keep that separate so there's privacy there. So yeah, we're very thoughtful about how we want to show up for our community and how we want the community to feel when they show up.
Yeah,
We want them to feel welcomed. We want them to feel seen and heard and acknowledged. Because it's hard times right now.
it is.
I'm a recreational cannabis store. So I really need to make people feel like spending their money with me is
Okay.
worthwhile, is something that they want to do. They know they're supporting something bigger than just a dispensary. They know that they're supporting community. I mean, we had a toy drive that was crazy. Like, we got so many toys and we're able to distribute and help. Like, I literally had customers, and when we were like starting, when we had collected the toys, and I had this one couple come in, and they were trying to find what they could afford on our menu. And so something just said, ask them if they have kids. So I was like, do you have children? And they were different abled, so
Okay,
I'm
right, right,
imagining
right.
on a fixed income and some different things. And they said, we have 7 kids. I was
Wow.
able to let them go to the huge pile of toys that we have, pick out 2 items for each of their 7 kids.
Nice. That's how many toys you got. Yeah.
Yes, and then was still able to
Distribute them.
distribute to families, to the YMCA, other places. I mean, the food drive. We really just try to make sure that our community uplift is a group effort.
Right,
You
right.
come in here, that at least a couple of your dollars is gonna go to helping someone in your community.
Right, right. And that's the beautiful thing about it. It's nice to see the people's face, rather than just giving them to the YMCA and let them distribute. It's nice to see the people's face when they're able to pick the toys out for their
Yes,
kids.
yes.
It's a beautiful thing. Now, I wanted to mention and congratulate you. You just received an award.
Mm.
Tell us a little bit about that. Uncle Lou and I were talking about it last week. Tell us a little bit about that award you just received.
Last month.
Yes, big
So
banquet. You
yes,
look great. I saw
thank
the
you.
pictures.
My red, I was calling that my, I was like Mother African Christmas dress. That's what I felt.
It looked great though. That's you got style, Keeper. You know that.
It was
But
a huge support. We loved you. You look beautiful.
thank you, thank you. I was so happy to look up and see your face, Lou. But yes, the Southern Connecticut Black Chamber of Commerce. Every year they identify members of their community who are doing exemplary business and or community work. And so I won Woman Owned Business of the Year. And being that we had only been open for 6 months at this point, to be acknowledged and not just be getting an award. Because I've seen people get awards, it's like, they just open, they ain't doing nothing. But like, to be acknowledged, because those 6 months we were open was all about community, was all about creating opportunities, was all about being compliant, like, I'm talking about all the things that the community feels and customers experience, but also there's an obligation to be compliant with the laws and regulations of this industry, which are a lot. And,
Yeah,
we've
yeah.
already had 2 inspections now and have passed with flying colors, with the exception of some signage issues, but that we're dealing with. But, as far as our as far as our inventory count goes, and the way in which we're interacting with customers and the information we're providing them, we're crossing every T and dotting every I, and really becoming an example in the state for how to do things right.
Good, and that's important, especially as a social equity applicant, to
Mm-hmm.
set that kind of example. Do you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
Yep.
Because there are quite a few out there that don't.
Right.
You know, we
I mean,
see
and truthfully, my staff, they're all bought into this. Like they've all bought into this. They're
the
committed
vision.
to the success. Yes, and committed to the success of Lit New Haven and what we offer in the community. So they work differently. You know what I mean? They're paying attention to details. They're making sure they're going above and beyond. I really can't thank my staff enough. I can't wait till I could I was able to bless everybody with a little bit of a raise to go
A
into
little,
the new year. And so I'm just really grateful for the things that God has allowed me to do on such a strange path.
right on, and I've been happy to be walking it with you right there, Kira. I really have
Right?
been. It's been a great pleasure to be a part of your journey. I gotta tell you, and just to see where you started, because I was there, and
Yeah,
where
it
you're
started
at
with
now.
you and Lou. Like you all, and to this day, like people don't even know we still a team. We out here in
Well,
these streets
yeah, we're
working
doing
together.
something right now. We mentioned it a little bit, but
Oh, good. Yeah,
we'll
I
let
mean,
the
our work
tribe
that we're
give their
doing with the
announcement.
Mashantucket Pequots and
Right.
educating that community about cannabis so they understand what's happening in the state and around them. Although they're sovereign, they can pretty much
They
do
make
what
their
they
own
want to do
laws.
and they can make their own laws. They want to know Connecticut's laws to be compliant when they step off their land. And they want to understand this plant and how it works and to reconnect with their indigenous, with cannabis's indigenous use and like the
Right.
past and bringing that back to the forefront in that community.
Yeah, and
So
they
thank
have
you.
home grow up there.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been instructing them, and I think that was a big part to get the residents up there of the reservation, and they got a pretty cool place up there to
Mm-hmm.
start growing
Beautiful.
their own.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
I
they're
mean, yeah, and it's important. Like I always say this. What I wanted social equity to be like. People are opening up dispensaries and stuff throughout the state in towns where they don't know the people. And the people don't know them, and they don't know what they're bringing. So I always
right.
felt it was important to educate communities about what is coming, what is going to be here, like, and how they can find their niche and their self in this industry and in a plant that God gave us to heal us. So.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm looking forward to continuing working with them, and excited to see where they go with it,
Mm-hmm.
because, like you say, they make their own laws. And
Mm-hmm.
along with that, they're going to have their own cultivation. So
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be very, very interesting. But they're going to make their own announcement when the
Mm-hmm.
time
Yeah.
comes.
I
We're
mean,
just
but
they're
guess what?
educating.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and guess what? We could say that they made an informed decision.
Decision. That's
Like
why
they
we're
didn't just
there.
make a decision based on money or based off, no, they made a decision because they had the knowledge and the information to know how to positively impact their community using cannabis.
Yeah, because they told me last week they have to write the laws. They
Mm-hmm.
have home grow laws that they've already written, which are very nice. Just 12 plants straight up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, but if they're going to get into it on a serious level, they have to write their own laws,
Mm-hmm.
and they have to be sort of in line with Connecticut's laws, and that's kind of why
Mm-hmm.
we're there to show them.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and
And I know they're going to be paying a whole lot of attention to the upcoming. So, am I teaching the medical class next week?
yes, you are.
Okay. But then the one after that, okay, so yeah, my class is great. But the one after that is going to be Devon Ward, which I'm super excited. He's going
Yeah,
to be teaching about the laws, and we needed an attorney. We wanted an attorney to really help to
yeah.
disseminate that. And luckily, we found an attorney. Devon was
Yep,
integral in getting cannabis legalized, so he
yep.
understands the laws very well. And so I'm so glad that we've been able to get this wonderful expertise to this community.
Well,
Lou
we put together
included,
a nice team. Me, you, Lou, Uzma. We have a
Uzma.
really nice team of educators
Yeah,
up there, and
yeah.
you know I'm curious to see where it goes because I'm very excited about that. I've always
Me
wanted to
too.
see how the tribe would handle cannabis because they do have the right to make their own laws. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
very good to be interested to be a part of that. So, Keeper, we're almost out of time.
Oh, I
Let's
see.
give them the socials,
Okay.
the
So you
websites, all
can.
that good stuff.
Yes. So please make sure you're following us on Instagram. We're Lit New Haven. So at Lit New Haven. I'm K Breezy 494. It's so good. And then on Facebook and all other socials, it's Lit New Haven Dispensary. And you can also find me, Kibra LaShawn Smith, on Facebook.
Nice. And you got the website, Lit New Haven, right?
Oh, yeah, litnewhaven.com. Oh, and if anyone is interested, this Saturday, I'm actually being honored at a prayer breakfast. It's at Emmanuel Baptist Church from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and they're honoring me for my work in the community.
There you go. From the chamber to the church.
No, yeah, from the chamber to the church. This is actually Arabic temple. So
Oh.
the matrons, yeah.
Oh, wow. So very, very cool, Kibra. Congratulations.
Thank
God
you.
is on your side.
Thank you, Jesus.
I love it. All right. Uncle Lou, are you still there? You got anything to say?
100%. We're just Keeper. Thank you so much for everything. As always, you're the OG partner, and we're still at it. And
Yes, we are.
All right, Lou. Stay happy, healthy, and high. You didn't say it this week.
Oh, stay happy, healthy, and high. I shall.
All right. I love you, Harry. Hit the
Love you.
music. We're ready to go.
Love you.
Love you, Kibra. Thank you so much.
Bye.
I'm going to come down and vision board with you, but I'll see you for the class anyway.
Okay. All right. See you later.
We're ready, Harry. Hit that music. I don't know where he is. There we go. All right. You can follow me at Joe the Weed Guy, at Green Haven Media, or at Cannabis Radio. Thank you so much. Like, share, subscribe. We love you all. We will see you next week. Peace and love.